Alright, so now we want to do pin digital 5, and that's my left hand side drive servo. So I identify my left hand side drive servo, which is this one here, because I laid them out neatly in the beginning. Identify my ground, and then that has to go into D5. So now we're up to D6 and D7, which is the crane and the claw. So what you want to do is just get it ready like this. You don't want to bolt anything in, you just need to slide the two servo lines down and then underneath and then into the hole there, and just temporarily push it in there because you're going to have to take it apart slightly later on. Okay, so basically you just need to know the long one will be the claw and the shorter one will be the crane. So I'm just going to lay that over on the side there, and we're going to have the plates, which is the cover plate on the top, and I am just going to put both of these through the cover plate like that. Okay, and then leave that down like that, and then I'm going to just put it through the roll cage. Okay, so I'm basically threading it through the cover plate and then just putting it through the roll cage. Remembering that the longer one, you can just trace it through. I know the longer one is going to the claw because it's further away, so it's got an extender on it, and the shorter one is going to the crane. Great, so you need to know what's what. So let's see, we're up to servo crane arm is D6. So the crane, which is the shorter one, needs to go to D6. I then identify the ground and identify D6, identify the ground and pop it in. D7 is the claw, identify the ground, which is brown or black, and then put that into D7. Right, and then it's in D7, and then I'm just pushing it across. So you see how nice and neat I am here? It's about having everything laid out and having everything nice and neat. Great, now we're up to D8. Now D8 is the LED matrix. Now D8, we've made this cable up for you, so you should have a RJ25 on one end, which will go into your LED matrix. So now we're doing D8, which is your LED matrix. Now you will need the cable, and we've soldered this up for you. It will be in your kit. You will have an RJ25 on one end, and that goes into your LED matrix. Don't put it in now, but that's where it will go, so leave that off to the side. And then the other end, you will have a 3-pin servo lead with 3 wires on it, and then you'll have a 3-pin servo header with 1 wire on it. Okay, now let's look at the circuit diagram, look at the pinout planner here. The D8 needs the 3-pin servo plug with the 3 lines. So that's got the 3 wires attached to it, 1, 2, 3. That needs to go to D8. So I am identifying the ground, which is the black or the brown, and then I'm popping it into D8. And then I'm leaning it across. Now, this other one that's on its own, it actually has to go into D13. So I'm going to pop that into D13. Now, the ground and the positive has been cut off. Only the white wire is the signal. So this is a slightly different one, but the signal needs to go, signal is on the opposite end of the ground, and that needs to go into D13. So it needs to go in. Now I'm going to lay that across to that side so that I'm still leaving the pins that I need access. So let's move on. So now we've done the 7-segment display. We've done the LED matrix. D9 is only used if you've got doing the 4-wheeler, and that would take your right-hand side drive servo. But we're doing tank, so we're going to skip that. Next, for D10, you need your button switch. Now your button switch is this one with the red button there. You get the leads from it. This is the lead. Identify the ground, which is brown or black, and that needs to go into D10, and D10 is over there right next to D9. So we pop that in there and then we lean it across. Everything's looking nice. Now D11 and 12 is for the wheel encoders. Now they're an optional extra, so we're not going to mention that, but the wheel encoders are so that you can know your speed and your velocity and etc. And that's it. There is no more to plug in. Now, well, yes, there is. I'm sorry. That's the microcontroller. Now we need to attach the battery harness. So what we've got, electricity is like water. Let's start at the beginning. Oh no, there is one more thing to attach. We need to attach the LEDs. These LED strings on the top need to be attached to the LED string chain down the bottom. So we need to find the male of the LED string, which is right here. So that's the male going onto the LED string in the sensor bumper. That needs to be attached to the female of the LED string on the roll cage. Now you need to identify the grounds. So the ground on this one is, can you see that?
Yeah, you've got your female around the roller.
That's female.
You said male.
Alright, sorry, that's female there, that's male. So you need to identify the grounds. On the male the ground is black, on the female the ground is brown. It doesn't really matter. And then push them together. Click, they're together. Great. Now we need to do the battery system. So that's coming from underneath the robot. That's from the battery, from the 2 lithium-ion batteries in series. So you've got 8 or so volts coming out of that. Now, these plugs are sexed. So what you need to do, this is coming from the battery harness that is in your kit. You will have 3. It's really easy. So that's your female. That's a male and that's a male. So the females always, the energy goes in. So from your battery, you go into that's a male, so you go into your female there, into your battery harness. Great, click in. Now these are then it goes off to the toggle switch and the voltmeter, and then the toggle switch turns these to outputs on or off. One of these goes to your Arduino board, which is here. So that goes to your actual Arduino board. So male to male, ground to ground. So the 2 blacks it's sexed anyway, you can't plug it in the wrong way, but you see how you've got the orientation there. So that's going directly to your Arduino board, and as I said, this has an independent power supply. You've also got a 2 amp voltage regulator over here. Okay, so this is the supply in for your 2 amp independent voltage regulator, and so that also needs to come from your toggle switch here. Goes in there. Now let's turn that off. Okay, all right, that's it. Thank you.